Hello, this is episode number 1 of Backroads, etc. Glad you could make it. As the name suggests, this channel will be about the experiences we've had while hiking the backroads of our country and the lessons we've learned. It will include the gear we've used, such as cutting tools, optics, shelters, and other essential gear, as well as firearms. But I hope the discussions are more about the experiences we have using the gear rather than simply about the gear itself. So if you're interested in following these discussions, please subscribe and click the bell image so you will be notified when a new video is posted. A little about my approach. It's a bit more practical when compared to a number of other channels, and will focus on the everyday guy and gal, not those looking to be tactical or survival professionals. I'm not trying to intentionally run anybody off, but I simply want to explain myself so not to project any false image of who I am and what this channel is about. As an example, I don't see the need to routinely carry a fully loaded pack containing a tool for every possible scenario that one may encounter. To me, it's simply not practical. I do believe having certain everyday carry items is important, but I don't see the need to go to extremes. Instead, why not explore the idea of finding additional uses for the gear you already have, multitasking the tools. The ingenuity we find in ourselves when trying to solve a problem is amazing. I intend to share some of these stories and the utility others have found in the simplest of items. What I also mean by practical is that not everybody sees the need to buy a $300 knife or other high-end gear for firearms. I have nothing against those that do or the folks that make and sell them, but sometimes products are just overhyped, and less expensive options can actually be better. Nonetheless, I believe buying poor quality gear is a waste of money, and sometimes one must pay a higher price for an acceptable level of quality. I myself buy Steyr hunting rifles. Not the cheapest, but one of the best straight out of the box. Plus, I'm confident I won't have any issues with it once I'm out in the field. That said, you can buy good, dependable gear for less money than the heavily marketed brands, and that is one of the topics I intend to discuss here. As an example, consider the cost between a military surplus backpack and a high-end one like Osprey. If you're going on a long hiking trip in rough terrain, I can see considering a higher-end pack. But if you are just going from your truck to a campsite less than a mile away, what's the point? I make this comparison simply as an example. Most people have figured that out already. But let's see where else we could apply this logic. I'm not a firearms, survival, or tactical expert. Very few people that have YouTube channels are. What I am is an experienced outdoorsman, just like many of you. I know what works for me, and I don't try to use techniques that I know are not appropriate for me. I'm not a MacGyver. And yes, I believe in preparedness, but I take a more pragmatic approach. My hope is that we have discussions about preparedness and survival skills, but with a more realistic perspective and not discussions on how one should prepare for an armed invasion. But instead, let's share ideas and knowledge gained from our hunting, fishing, and other outdoor adventures, as well as what we've learned in everyday life, and to apply those skill sets to whatever situation where we may need them. These skills would certainly help us in the event of a natural disaster, civil unrest, or any number of chaotic events. If someone is looking for more expert advice on a particular subject, I will give them my opinion on other resources that can provide in-depth analysis on those particular topics. This may include other YouTube channels that are focused on a particular topic. I know my limits, and to offer inaccurate or misleading information is an irresponsible action that could lead to someone else's harm, and I don't want that on me. There are also instances where certain topics require more analysis than what a 5 or 10-minute video can address. So some resources I may suggest will involve a more thorough understanding, and that requires a fair amount of study. So with all that said, if this sounds like a channel you would be interested in, please subscribe and click on the bell so you will receive notifications when my new videos are posted. And if any of you are pipe smokers or are simply interested in finding out more about pipe smoking, please check out my other channel, Pipes, Etc. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by Backroads, Etc. Until next time, be safe, everybody.